Hello, fans of the Monday Movie Club. This week it was Annie's Choice, the 2019 film The Farewell, starring Aquafina, who I'm sure is still kicking herself for not doing everything everywhere all at once. I'm Frank Gaffney. Here with us, as always, is Joel, Annie King, Mark G has a picture up. That's good news. And Cringer and Goldfuck. That
You didn't mention Midge. Midge is feeling left out.
Can't really see Midge. I see like maybe that's an ear right there, but
There we go.
I still don't see anything. A black blurb is all I see.
Yeah, that's all she is anyway.
Will Cringer just run away when you start talking? Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, so we always start with the question, Annie, why The Farewell?
I always pick something that I wanted to see but missed in the theaters that I didn't get to see, so just wanted to see it.
Well, here's the thing, though, Annie. This kind of relates a little bit more to you, though. This movie,
Yeah.
Obviously being from China. Do you want to tell a little bit of your story, so how it relates to this?
My story, like how I came to America.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're from China.
I'm from Hong Kong, so a little bit different.
Does that count? No.
Well, when I was born, Hong Kong was under British rule. So
Right.
I actually, at one point, held two passports. I had a British passport and an American passport. But I came when I was 6, and my grandma still lived in China. Then she came to live with us, and then she went back to China, and actually she had cancer, and I flew out to see her. And then on my way back from seeing her, I had a layover in Japan, and that night she passed away. So,
Oh.
so yeah.
Oh, so there is some similarity.
Yeah.
So in your house, people, your parents spoke Chinese, right?
Yes.
Right, and so your grandmother did too.
Yes. She didn't speak English.
Right, because when she would answer the phone, why would she answer the phone?
Right.
She doesn't
Wait.
speak English. Wait,
Eh?
and Amy would go, Annie home,
And in the home.
Annie home. All right, so I do want to ask you some of the things in the movie about some of those Chinese traditions, what how that relates, and so I think that's interesting. So I actually watched this movie about a year ago on a plane. I don't know where we were going. Again, I wanted to see it and I hadn't seen it. And actually, I was very happy to watch it again this week because it really is a lovely, lovely movie. So, but when the movie starts, there's like 18 production companies that were involved.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
what? Okay, there was 6 different logos before we even started a frame of the movie. I'm like, seriously? It used to be there was one production company, one, and then
Now
it
it's
says,
always in association with.
yeah, like 800 companies have to be involved, and they all have to have their title before the movie starts. Ridiculous. And then it says based on an actual lie, which I thought was just too funny. And of course, I looked it up, and sure enough, the movie was written and directed by Lulu Wang, and is based on her Chinese American family who, upon learning that their grandmother was ill, decided not to tell her and schedule a fake wedding so everybody could go to China and see her before she died and say their goodbyes. And then Aquafina's dad tells the cat joke, right? And you've heard this joke a million times, right? He's watching the cat dies. How could you just say that? You should start, by saying, okay, the cat was on the roof, and then, break it to me gently kind of thing. And I thought, oh my God, we've heard this joke a million times, but obviously it applies here since grandma's getting on the roof. So
the callback to it later on was brilliant.
Yes. And boy, did this movie make me hungry. Good Lord. Every minute they're eating in this movie. But it brought up a very interesting question. So, Annie, did you have the same kind of thing where they didn't tell your grandmother that she was sick?
No, no, I mean, it's not something I believe in. I believe you tell the people, but she actually, when she got sick, she was in America and she had Hodgkin's lymphoma and she had to go for chemo and everything. And then,
Right.
and then she was in remission when she went to China. And then she got sick, and it's such a totally different hospital experience. You know, when she was in China, you had to bring your own bedding to the hospital, your own pillows to a hospital. The nurse would walk around with like literally a wooden crate, a wooden box with a handle with all the thermometers in there. And she just pulled one out and took your temperature and stuff. You know, very interesting. My grandma had a family, a relative stay with her. So they had to bring their own like chair and cot, and it was really
In the hospital they stayed with her?
yeah.
And you had to
Because
bring your own bed?
yeah, because they don't really have enough nurses to take care of everyone. So
Right.
if you can have a relative with you, you know, to go get medication, and they don't even just give you like the medication you need, like you have to send someone down to the pharmacy to get it and stuff, to buy it and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was really an interesting concept because, I mean, the father says something like, well, she's in a good mood. Why do you want to ruin her good mood? And obviously there's something to be said for, you know, that she lived so long. And I loved it when then the brother says, we don't want to give her that burden. We're going to carry the emotional burden for her. And I thought, oh my God, that's so beautiful.
Yeah,
And then
it worked out that she didn't feel more than just you know, a cough or whatever, you know,
right,
you're not
right.
really
I
suffering.
couldn't believe when the actual doctor went along with it too. That was fantastic.
Yeah, he's like, that's the way it is here. You that's the way we do that. And I love the grandma, really. She was great. She really was great. And if I were in that situation, I certainly would have waited till after the wedding at least, to at least let her have that nice moment and then be like, okay, I'm glad you had a good time, but
By the way,
by the way. And some things really cracked me up. It was the professional crier. I cracked up. I mean, that was brilliant. I mean, and obviously they do it. And those were some big ass crabs. I'm sorry. Sorry. I like they were the whole plate was a crab. I've never seen a crab that big.
You're looking
Do
in
they
the
come
wrong
that big?
places.
Obviously. And then of course the brother's speech made me messed up when he was. I'm like, how dumb is this grandma? She doesn't get that there's something else going on here.
I
mean, she's
honestly,
even said,
I honestly thought toward the end of the movie she was going to say something like, "I know what you fools are doing. I did the same." I
Right.
thought that was going to be the big reveal, and it didn't happen. So I am surprised too that she never figured it out.
yeah.
I thought
because
somebody
she
was
kept
gonna
saying, you know,
drunkenly, I
No,
thought
I
somebody
thought
was
she
gonna drunkenly
knows.
spill the beans.
I thought she knows the tradition. She's done it before, so she's smart enough to catch on. And I was surprised that she never did
yeah,
it.
and she did it to her husband.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm glad she didn't. I'm actually glad she didn't. Annie, what the hell was the drinking game when they were doing that? Is
That I
look
don't
familiar to
know.
you?
No, never done
It
that.
was pretty funny, but they didn't translate what they were saying.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm
best
like,
part.
what's going on? It was very funny.
Yeah,
Also made me laugh when the photographer said, everybody say eggplant. I guess eggplant is a smiley word. What is egg? Do you know eggplant in Chinese? What is it?
it's like yeah,
Oh,
And
yeah.
so everybody was going, "Deh." I thought, oh, okay, that's their version of cheese, eggplant. I thought that was funny.
yeah.
And again, I absolutely did messed up when the camera pulled away as grandma was waving goodbye to them. I'm like, oh my God, that's such a
That's
beautiful
it.
moment. It really was.
Yeah.
And so now I have to say, spoiler alert, the bitch is still alive.
In real life,
At the
yeah.
end of the movie, they're like, she's still alive. Or at least she was still alive when they made this movie in 2019.
Yeah.
And so then the question becomes, is she still alive? Partly because they didn't tell her. Like everybody's gonna say, well, I didn't do this or I didn't do that, or they want to feel that they contributed to her still being alive. So maybe her positive attitude, obviously the cancer went into remission, but she was stage 4. That's pretty serious.
Yes, I guess that medicine from Japan worked.
Right.
Yeah, she said it was making her feel better, but that was just lovely seeing her at the end going, ha, ha, ha. It was great. And the other thing I read, I didn't read a lot, but I read that her auntie in the movie was really her actual auntie. She cast
Yes.
her own aunt
Yes.
to play auntie. And she was like, I'm going to ruin your movie. Well, she didn't ruin her movie. It was very fun. So I'm going with 3.25 on this one. I don't usually do a 0.25. I couldn't quite go to 3.5, but it's more than a 3-star movie. It's very sweet. It's very touching. And I've always loved seeing different cultures from what I'm used to seeing. So that was really lovely. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Goldfuck, what did you think?
When you're talking about seeing movies with different cultures, my favorite culture to be immersed in has been Chinese culture for years and years. I mean, I'm
You think
sure
Annie was an influence on
I was
that?
just saying, I think a huge part of that was meeting Annie at the age of like 14 and going to her house every day and learning about how to make homemade egg rolls and dumplings and listening to Chinese, and then taking a semester of Mandarin in college. So I understood a good 15 words. I was very excited, especially when she said, I remember the first and most important phrase I learned was "Wa Han Lei," and it means I'm very tired. And she said, I'm just very tired. So there was that little extra word that was like, she just said, I'm very tired. I love that.
That's
And when
great.
she was
So you didn't need the subtitles there.
right. Or she was
Wait a minute,
counting
I also
one
want to
bell,
go
two
back.
bells.
I want to go back a second. If you know how to make egg rolls, why have I never had one?
Oh, I need Annie to do that. I'm like, okay, Annie, now what do I do? Now what do I do? So I love that. And of course, I lived in Shanghai for 5 months. So I just love the Chinese culture. And just like Annie, this is a movie I wanted to see. I think, Mark, you said the same thing. This is why, distributors go out of business, because we all want to see the movie and we don't go to see it. So I was very glad this one was on the list. You pretty much touched on everything I would have said. I did love the rendition of Without You over the credits at the end. I was in tears. Beautiful. I love that song, but the way it was done, except when the kids started singing, but I loved that. So
It was also fun that they did karaoke at the wedding.
yeah.
Is that a traditional thing, Annie? I don't remember karaoke at your wedding.
No, it's much, much bigger now. It's huge. Like all the
Wow.
restaurants have karaoke setups in the private rooms and stuff.
Wowee.
Yeah.
So for the same reasons Frank said, I'm also going to give a 3.25. It wasn't quite 3.5, but it deserves more than 3. I definitely recommend it. And Awkwafina did a great job. I'm not really a big fan of hers. Oh, by the way, her great grandfather owned Lum's restaurant, and my family used to go to Lum's all the time. So I kind of love her for that.
Oh, that's funny. She is Nora from Queens.
Yeah, right in Forest Hills.
I liked her for the most part. I think she tried way too much to be sullen and my grandma's dying sad, but she could have had a few more moments of fun, but yeah, I enjoyed her too. Well, Mark,
Didn't she
subtitle.
Wait, didn't she win a Golden Globe for the award, or was nominated for it? I don't remember.
There was something.
I think she did get nominated for sure. I don't know if she won, but
Oh,
Mark, I can't believe a subtitle movie and it's not, nobody gets killed, and here you have a picture up.
Hello, I put up Crouching Tiger. It's all subtitles. I don't dislike.
Yeah, no, that movie people got killed.
Subtitles I'm okay with. Black and white old movies is where I kind of draw the line. But to
Well,
answer
you'll be
Amy,
excited about next week.
what's next week?
Never mind, go on.
Okay. Amy, no, I never heard of this movie. I didn't know what it was.
Oh,
I
okay.
had no idea what this was, so
Oh,
I
wow.
was pleasantly surprised. Although when I first read it, I was like, it's going to be a little bit too sappy, too sad. It was fantastic. It's very heartwarming. For me, I mean, you guys already said it. I don't have much to add. I loved Nai. She was adorable, the grandma. I do.
And so wise, and what you want every grandma to be like.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
really was loving,
was-
wise, and she gave you money.
yeah, and
That's
also
every grandma.
and a little ball busting, you stupid child, you know, all that stuff too. It was great.
Oh wait, I want to go back to the food for a second because it just came back to me again. When they were in the restaurant and the lazy Susan kept going very slowly by them, I'm like, oh my God, that's so brilliant.
I was like, this is going way
I
too
love
slowly
a
though.
buffet, and that's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what every buffet needs, just to sit there and have the food go by and like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Take that, yeah. Just like you guys mentioned, the whole thing about not telling someone a diagnosis. If it was me, I would be pissed. I definitely would not want anyone to do that to me. However, as I think Frank touched upon, when the uncle explains it, I very much appreciated the reasoning behind it, even if I don't agree with it personally.
But you agree they could have told her after the wedding, been like, all right, this is why we're really here.
Sure, but I don't know.
But it could have killed her sooner. I think a big part of it really is having a positive attitude.
100%. We talk about it all the time because Danielle's mother has a tumor in her lung. She's had it for years and it's not doing anything. And they said when she first got it, they were really aggressive and they said it's, you know, probably never going to go away. And she has a great attitude and she is doing fine. So it really does. The scene behind me, the Tai Chi with the two of them interacting, that was probably my favorite part of the movie. It was fantastic. Any scene with Nai and Billy, I really enjoyed. And yeah, I can't believe that she's really alive. My only thing was the casting of the cousin, How kid looked like he was 14. How is he getting married? Like, I just didn't buy that part. But for me, I'm going right there too. I'm actually going to go 3.3 1/3 stars. There was a little bit more than 3 1/4, not quite 3.5. A pleasant surprise. So thank you, Annie.
3.33333.
3.3333.
Now that was funny because they definitely, I don't even know if they wanted to get married. It was
Right.
like, no, we're doing this
No,
for this.
in the beginning, she says something like they've only just started dating. So I guess the girlfriend just went along with it. I mean, you could tell she was kind of, you know, didn't really want to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 months.
And she didn't know Mandarin. What language was she speaking?
She was Japanese.
She's from Japan.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so obviously they just went along with it too. I hope they're still happy.
I don't think they officially got married, right? Or I'm assuming that was just all for
Oh
show.
yeah, I mean we didn't see an actual ceremony. No, I guess not.
Yeah.
So it was all a ruse. All right, are you done?
I'm done.
Joel, had you seen this before, Joel?
I actually had seen it before. Natasha and I saw it. I think when it was in theaters, it was also like available for rent, you know, streaming wise, and that's when we saw it. Because there was we both like Awkwafina, although she wasn't quite Awkwafina back then, and it just sounded interesting. So I had seen it before. I hadn't seen it since then. Natasha was
Wait
not.
a minute, Joel. Are you wearing a shirt that has nothing on it?
It happens on occasion. Yeah.
It's a blank
Take
shirt?
it off. Take it off.
What the hell?
It happens. It's purple. I like purple.
All right. Now you look like Barney.
Well, the Hulk.
Actually, this is slightly darker than Barney.
Oh, okay.
I will not wear Barney purple.
All right. You don't want to get confused.
Not at all. I'm okay with being confused with Grimace, but not Barney. Anyway,
All right. So what did you think of the farewell?
I both times I saw it, I really liked the movie. It's one of the things I love about watching films that are based in cultures that I'm not familiar with or want to be more familiar with is finding that connection that we all have as humans within that. And, you know, I could see certain relatives of mine doing similar things, you know,
Right.
with, you know, all right, you know, grandma's sick. We shouldn't tell her because we don't want her to have that burden. And I think that's it's both a noble thing and a stupid thing at the same time. But I do believe that the power of positive thinking definitely helps when you are physically ill. If you lean into, oh, I'm sick, you know, and this, you're gonna ramp it up. And if you go in the other direction, I believe it does help. There's something there within the body, within the mind that helps that. I think that's a lovely thought.
Joel, I'll just say I've read up on quite a bit of that. It's the mind-body connection that you're
Yeah.
speaking of, and there is an absolute
Oh, sure.
like measurable
Yeah.
amount.
I
Yeah.
do yoga once a week with an instructor, and we're constantly having conversations about that. And I know, you know, I'm pretty sure at this point the only reason I'm still alive with all the ailments that I have is because
You're positive.
Yeah, I do yoga once a
Yes,
week.
I see your posts on Facebook. You're always so positive.
Yeah, well, no, that's getting it out of my system.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Oh, getting rid of it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's like, you know, it's like Dorian Gray's portrait in the attic. You know, that's my Facebook. That's
Oh,
Facebook.
I see. Okay.
So
No, that's what I'm saying. I do think some part of it is because, well, she must know now, right? Somebody must have shown her the
Well,
movie.
they didn't say anything about that.
She came to bless the set of the movie and still didn't know it at that time. But if she's watched the movie, I mean,
She did find out. I read about that.
Oh, she did,
someplace.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
And
she,
what did she?
she disowned all of them.
yeah.
she,
I
she
don't
died
really-
2 weeks later. Then that's
She died the next day.
Um,
So
it's
she did watch the movie? Wait,
Let
I'm
me see
sorry.
if I can find it.
okay.
All right.
It's you know, small films like this rarely get made anymore. And the fact that they had to fight to get this made, you know, against investors that were like, oh, you know, can't you put a white person in there to help us, you know, is sad. Because
Was this before Crazy Rich Asians?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
wait. I thought
I-
when was Crazy Rich Asians?
it's
Yes,
within
2020.
like, I think it's a year later.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I remember it.
I think, no, I
reading-
think it is later, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause Aquafina was in that too.
No, and he's saying same year.
Crazy
Same-
Rich Asians is 2018. So right
Oh, it was the year before.
Well, maybe that helped pave the way to make this movie then. Even though some investors didn't want to.
It's possible.
They're like, hey, we had one Asian hit movie, let's make another one. Well, because again, it's not a kung fu movie. It's nothing
Right.
with martial arts. So it's like, it's just a nice story about these people.
Yeah,
And
it's-
she really
As
just
you-
took it-
As you know, eventually my grandmother came to know that the film is about our family.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She came to the parties and all, but she knew. Oh, Wang also confirmed that her family assumed that lying about the movie's plot wouldn't pose a problem because the grandmother would likely die before it came out, which did not happen. Her grandmother finally found out the truth. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
She actually just found out, she said, in 2020. She said that.
Yeah, the farewell was being shot the month before Crazy Rich Asians opened. So
Mhm.
So it wasn't
In
even-
China, the movie is called Don't Tell Her.
Don't tell her. Which they can appreciate. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Joel, go on.
no, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, you know,
But Lila Wang hasn't made a movie since this. What's she
No?
waiting for? No.
that's unfortunately the way this industry works sometimes, and it's rather sad. I haven't seen the first movie she did. I forget what it was called, but it sounded interesting. It's a nice film. It's a good film. You know, it's there's not much I can really add to it. I think it's well written, it's well acted, it's well shot. It's that type of small family film that really we don't see much anymore. And it's unfortunate, but I'm gonna
And
go
she really did create separate and distinct characters, everything
yeah.
about it. And I even love the whole discussions about how she was sending her son to America to go to school because he'd have more opportunities there.
Right.
Even though she's like proudly Chinese. I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, there's there's still something to that concept of America as being the land of opportunity in other cultures. We don't see it here because we're in the middle of, what the hell we're in the middle of at this point
Yeah.
at times.
Middle of
But,
the shit.
yeah, but it's nice to still see that optimism through others' eyes at times. To
Well,
make
and also
find us-
when she says you can make $1 million in China, no problem.
right.
Yeah.
How long does it take to student? I'm like, really?
Let's
So
all
I just
I'm
wanted to
there.
say, Joel, though, another heartfelt memoir movie that I just happened to watch this week is The Tender Bar with Ben Affleck.
Yes,
It's also very similarly kind of small
Yes.
and fantastic as well for anybody who's in.
I would agree. I watched that in my other film club last
The
year,
Tender Bar.
The Tender Bar.
To play on
Is
bartender.
it a Boston family thing?
I think it was in Boston. I don't remember.
No, Long Island actually,
Oh, right.
but it
yeah.
could have been
Long
Boston.
Island.
Yeah, it could have been Boston.
But we digress.
But we digress. I'm gonna agree with Mark and give it 3.33. It's
Okay.
definitely something I think people should watch if they get a chance.
Speaking of
So Annie, what?
$1 million, I'm wondering if, because when you talk about your own money, it's your own money. So when she said you can make $1 million here, she might have been talking about the Chinese, which is $140,000.
Oh, a million.
Yeah, yuan.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Kwan?
Yuan.
Yuan.
And also she won the Satellite Award, the Gotham Award, and the Golden Globe.
Okay.
Aquafina?
Yeah.
Cool.
They said it differently, I thought, her name. I keep saying Aquafina like the water, but it was Aquafina or something they said.
It's spelled awkward,
I-
like she's awkward, Aquafina. I don't know.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
tried
just-
to change her name to her real name, but people like, nobody knows who you are. That's like Lady Gaga trying to change it to her name.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
Yeah.
You have to live with it now.
You have to be like The Rock and be Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So this way you
Yeah,
can go back and
exactly.
forth.
Slowly transition. out of
She'd
it,
be
yeah.
Nora Aquafina, whatever her last name
Yeah.
is.
Well,
All right, Annie. So everybody is saying thank you for making us watch this movie. But
Well,
what did you think?
Well, I'm glad I watched it. It was good. I was surprised that it was all subtitled pretty much the whole movie. I wasn't expecting that. On the other hand, I got 75% of the movie just by listening to it. So that was kind of cool. I was able to get a lot of it. The subtitles helped me.
I was going to ask, are you kind of at the same level that Aquafina was in here, where you can speak it, but you're not, like she had to ask for some translation? If you went over there right now?
Well, I can't speak it. I can understand it.
Okay.
So if it's general conversation, I could probably pick up on most of it. If it's anything specific, like if you're talking about a country or like some scientific
cancer.
term.
Annie, you used to
cancer.
speak it at your house, or cancer. You used to speak
Yeah.
it with your parents and your grandmother. Is that because it was a different dialect? It's just Mandarin that you don't know?
Yeah, so
So fun.
like my folks are from Shanghai, so it's a different dialect there.
Yeah.
And Chinese.
But it's enough that I can extrapolate what's being said in Mandarin to understand most of it.
So you speak fluent Shanghainese, you just don't speak Mandarin.
I mean, I guess, but still, it's not like I talk to my grandma about political things or scientific things, it's about food and bathroom and how's your day, like that kind
Yeah,
of,
regular conversation.
right.
Well, that reminds me of the moment in the movie where I did think, really, when she did totally know how to say fellowship in Chinese, but she didn't know how to say congratulations.
Yeah.
Come
But
Well,
no, so,
obviously, she never congratulated
on.
anybody.
I guess
before.
so.
yeah. It's different when you say Happy New Year and Happy Birthday and,
Yeah.
but
So like Joel said, he could relate to some of it. He could see his relatives. Did you feel the same way?
it's funny, not on my side, but like on Danny's side, like somebody passed away and they didn't want to tell an aunt or whatever and that her brother passed away. I'm like, how do you not say anything that her brother passed away, And like,
Crazy.
For our
I-
3 fans, in case you forget, Annie's husband is Jewish.
Yes.
It's a Jewish thing, apparently.
yeah,
Apparently.
it is. So, yeah.
No, we've had that too. Don't tell your grandmother.
Yeah.
We've had
Yeah.
that.
But I would think she would want to know that her brother passed away, but whatever, everyone has their own opinion on that. My big questions was, what was with the birds inside?
That means
Oh.
impending death.
The birds are deaf.
Inside the house.
The bird
Yeah.
comes into your
Yeah.
house, somebody's gonna die.
I didn't know that, but I asked the
Well-
same question. I was like, why does this bird keep coming in? It's definitely symbolic. of
Well,
something.
when we went to Africa, a bird got into the house and they had 2 dogs, and in that case, the bird was the one to die.
Aw,
Wow.
So it's true.
Yes. The other question I had was, did it remind you of my wedding? The wedding?
No,
We weren't there.
they didn't bite the cherries off the string.
yeah, all I
They
remember is
didn't-
biting the cherry in the restaurant.
All the food and everything?
Oh.
Oh,
cool,
yes, the
sure.
food.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
that so much because we kept saying, should we eat this one? Should this one? No, don't eat this one. You'll like that one though.
And we had just
was
come
it.
from a full-on American style wedding, and then we had to go to a Chinese restaurant in Flushing and then get 7 more courses. And I was like,
It was great.
Yes, I did like that motorized Lazy Susan though.
Oh my
That
God,
was
yeah.
That was
really cool.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
The other thing was, my nit to pick was, she couldn't find something to wear to a wedding. She
I know,
looked
with the
like
gray
she was stuck
t-shirt?
in- Yeah,
That
the
was
same
weird.
thing.
But I said the same thing. A lot of them, everyone's wearing like polo shirts. I guess they don't get much dressed up over there at all.
Right, so Tina's wedding, and she had it at the Botanical Gardens. And she married a Jewish guy, but she had a big Asian side family that she was inviting. And it was like kind of semi-formalish, it was outdoors, but expected to be dressed nicely. And one of her mom's friends came in a polo shirt and khakis, and that was dressed up. So,
Yeah.
wow.
yeah.
Natasha's uncle Bob came to our wedding in overalls.
That's his
Well, there you
version
go.
of dress up. Yeah. So when I went to a wedding in Buffalo, one of the presents was a cord of wood.
Wow.
That
That's
was
what
interesting.
you
need
need in
it
those
in Buffalo.
Buffalo winters.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But yeah, no, it was good. It was I liked it a lot. So
Annie, was there any nostalgia for you seeing where they filmed it?
I don't think I've ever been where they filmed it.
Oh, okay.
Did they film it in Shanghai? No.
They filmed it in a town I never even heard of.
Right.
Because
so-
the place that it was supposed to take place in looked way too westernized by then.
Makes sense.
And I love, again, Lulu Wang being the director, the things you choose to put on the screen. I loved it that at the wedding, we see the guy sitting in the lobby smoking a cigarette, who's obviously going to be the dragon at some point in the wedding. And he's just waiting while they're talking inside and he's smoking a cigarette. You see the dragon thing. Never saw it in the wedding. To me, that was like,
No, no,
what a
that's not,
nice
It
moment.
was at the beginning.
yeah, it was at the beginning when they were all coming in.
Oh, I,
Oh,
And then they disbanded or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and then
I think
he's
Frank,
smoking
it
a
just went
cigarette
in,
afterwards.
it went in one eye and out the
Yeah.
other. But
I'm
by
like,
showing him
I
sitting
thought,
there,
when are
then
we
you
gonna
really
see the
notice
dragon?
him.
That's funny, because I thought we never saw the dragon, and here
Yeah.
he is smoking a cigarette and waiting.
No, he was on a break.
Little, but there was a lot, yeah, but there was a lot of nice little moments like that kind of thing, which I really liked.
Yeah, I love how they like alter the documents on the test result.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say on this?
What do they call it? Shadow spots or something? Benign shadow
Nine
spots?
shadows.
The Nine,
Benign
the Nine
shadows.
Shadows.
Yes.
That
So,
that could be your autobiography, Benign Shadows.
I think that's the sequel to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's the Nine Shadows.
I like it.
yes, so I'm going with 3.25 also.
All right.
I would have cracked up if you hated this movie, by the way.
I know, me too.
We all loved it and you hated it. Waiting for that.
It takes
It
a lot
really
to
is such a,
hate a movie.
yeah, it
Ooh,
really is such a
Challenge
lovely.
accepted.
No, you've
Oh,
already,
thank you.
you've already given it to me.
No, worse than that.
Wait, which
No,
one?
Aye,
okay.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
one
yeah.
did you hate, Andy?
Flash Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's fun when we all get a movie that we agree is a lovely movie and everybody
Yeah.
should watch it. And you're definitely going to see members of your family in this movie for sure. Very beautifully done. Are we done? Everybody good? Okay. So next, oh, well, The Farewell is not available on your usual streaming services. We all had to get it elsewhere, but I think it was only like $2.99 on Amazon. Not terrible.
Free at the
So you
library.
should, or go to, I went to the library. Wait, I have it. Yeah, give me that right there.
Hi, Aunt, welcome back.
You can get it from your library.
There you go.
It really was lovely, and I saw it twice. So there you go. Next week, gird your loins, Mark.
Yeah,
A
right.
black and white classic, The Maltese Falcon.
I'm looking forward to watching
remember
that.
Mark saying he was looking forward to this one.
Yep. I may hate
This
it, but I
one-
want to see it.
This one you can watch on Max.
Oh, good.
Can't say HBO Max anymore. If you have that service. Otherwise, that's it for us. I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie.
Also with you.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Farewell.